Hello Internet! I needed a home theater PC to run my movies. And if you want a really good HTPC, it's best to build it yourself. Mine is based on the amazing Gigabyte GA890 motherboard, which has everything on board, including HDMI 1.3 and full 1080p support. I wanted it fast, so I used the AMD 6-core Phenom 2 Black Edition processor, which compares favorably with the $1,000 Intel flagship processor at a third the price. I also chose an Intel solid-state hard drive and 4 GB of low latency memory. As a home theater PC, it's got to be quiet. And when it comes to noise, fans are the primary culprit. One advantage to having everything on board is less heat, and consequently fewer fans. To make it even quieter, I used a Corsair H50 water cooler and applied acoustic damping material inside the case. And to top it off, a Silverstone fanless power supply was used. There are only two 120mm low noise fans in the machine. And you can't even hear it's running. So starting with the motherboard, let's take a look at our components. This motherboard quite literally has it all. USB 3.0, Firewire, DVI, optical, HDMI 1.3 with full 1080p support. The built-in Radeon HD 4290 video card scored 3,300 points on 3D Mark. And the sound card supports everything up to Dolby Digital 7.1. We've also got support for the latest AMD processors, DDR3 1866 plus RAM, no less than 8 SATA ports supporting various levels of RAID, a tremendous amount of PCI slots, and Crossfire support. Definitely a good choice for an HTPC. Here we have a Kingwin trayless hot swap drive rack for the standard SATA drive. And of course the AMD Phenom Black Edition processor. The SSD drive. This really makes it sing. And the tray for the SSD. Next up we have the Patriot Extreme Performance Viper 2 series, DDR3, 4 gigs of that. A 2 terabyte drive for storage. Next up we have the totally silent Silverstone fanless power supply. And here we have the Corsair water cooling system. This plugs into the motherboard, so the motherboard regulates the pump speed as well as the fan speed, which is included with the system. And here's the snap-in cover that comes with the motherboard. And finally we have the very sexy Lian Li PC C32 aluminum case. So let's build a computer. Call me a geek and I'll say thank you, but I really do like this trayless drive dock. So the system is now completely assembled, so let's take a look inside. Here we can see we have the drive dock populated. You can also see the only two fans in the system, both 120mm fans, which are plugged into, monitored by, and speed controlled by the motherboard. The pump is also monitored and controlled by the motherboard. I've also set alarms on the motherboard, so it will let me know if there's a fan loss or if it breaks a predetermined temperature point. So let's turn it on and see how loud it is. You can see she's extremely quiet, and the board is not warm enough to even call for the fans yet. I would say mission accomplished. I really enjoyed this project, and the system performs well beyond my expectations. I hope you got as much out of the project as I did. I'll be covering my movies in a different video. See you next time.